Hey everybody, how you doing today? I'm on the back of this Camaro today, and we got a lot of rust, like back in here where this quarter panel, this rear panel here meet. Um, you got a trunk that goes up in here, the trunk, and you got this extended trunk part that comes out from the trunk over to the quarter panel and kind of follows the quarter panel around on the inside. Well, all that rusted out, and you can kind of see the back of it right here. And when that happens, your tires are just throwing a bunch of mud and stuff in up there, and this rust out. As you can see, it's in pretty bad shape. So, but the customer was going to put a whole new rear panel on this, which I think I seen it at Classic Industries for like $80 or something, or maybe a little more. I can't remember. It wasn't too expensive, but there are a lot. It's a pain in the ass to try to get them out because you got to go in here, get all this seam sealer out the factory put in, get rid of them spot welds all the way around. And so I told her, I said, shits and giggles, let's see if I can patch it up, because the top of it is all in pretty good shape. It's just some on this corner, some on the other corner, and you got some down here along this bottom. Yeah, like right in here and in the middle. So I think with with my brake, my metal brake, I can just make this over halfway. I got like a quarter bend there and then a 90 there up to this body line here. So I said, I'll shoot some video and for shits and giggles, see if we can patch this up. As you can see, I already got this cut out. I got some board over there I can make a template out of. And I'm gonna make a little template, and then I'm gonna transfer that template onto the sheet metal. And what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll just tack weld it all the way around, get the fender where it needs to be. This quarter panel is probably sitting pretty natural where it is. I mean, the person that had this before, they put a bottom quarter panel on here, so they welded it in right up here by the body line. But it caved in a little bit, and sometimes when you start to weld and you get it too hot and you start getting the metal to cave in, it might have a tendency to try to pull this fender out. But right now it doesn't look too bad. And what we'll do is we'll go and get this patched in, and then later on I'll get this bottom, I'll get it cut out, and I'll get it fabbed up, and we'll bring it in and it'll tie in because it tucks in under this rear quarter panel right here. So the quarter panel actually comes all the way around and it wraps. All these body lines where the tail light is and all the way around, it wraps around. It's got a lip all the way around it, and it comes up under here. It comes up under the thing, the rear here, and you can see right here where it's lapped, and it goes all the way up and around. So we're going to make a template. We're going to make some sheet metal, and after I get this in, I'm going to try to go ahead and cut this, because they made a little goofy looking patch in here, which I'm going to try to get out too, just to keep dirt from going up in there, but it was just kind of a half-assed job. So I'm going to try to fab that up as well. But I'll probably show you that on the other side, because you can see it a lot better, because I got that quarter panel cut out on the other side. They skimmed a piece on there and it just looked shitty, and so we're going to get a whole new quarter panel on that other side over there. But this one's fine. I mean, I'm going to try to do some dolly and hammering and try to get this beat out a little bit where they welded it in, and it shrunk the metal. It caved it in a little bit. So, and then they just packed it with mud. There's probably over an 1/8 inch of mud there just to fill in where that sheet metal took a dive. That's what I call it. It takes a dive. So, well, again, this is for shits and giggles. If you want to replace the whole thing, go ahead. But there may be a lot of people out there that don't have the tools or don't have the knowledge or the ability, and you got a little piece of rust here. And basically, I'm just going to show you how to fab up some patch panels and get it welded in. And to be honest with you, if it works like I plan on it working, it'll still be just structurally strong, just as structurally strong. It's more work. It's more welding, more grinding, more cleaning. But if you really want to weigh it out to, going through here and cleaning all this seam sealer out, all these spot welds, and pulling this whole back panel off and replacing it, you're probably going to have about just as much as equal amount of work. So, and doing it like this, it's going to polish your fabrication skills. It's going to polish your welding skills. You're just going to learn. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to figure out how to do this stuff as you're doing it and working it and building it back piece by piece. I mean, if you got the money to buy a new quarter panel on the other side, take both quarter panels off, and then this rear panel will be easy peasy. I mean, you can just pop it off, put your new rear panel on there, both quarter panels, and you're done. And that, you got $1,000 in it, because each quarter panel, $400 a piece is $800, and then they charge you another $200 for shipping. So there's your grand right there. Plus this is $100, probably another $100. So you're gonna have $1,200 in it with 2 new quarter panels, and that's not counting your trunk extensions that go out to the quarter panel. They're $50 a piece. So you'll probably have $1,500 in it if you want to do it all like that, right? Which that's great, man. If you're restoring it and you got the means and you got the money and you got the equipment to do that, that's actually the way to do it. But for tutorial purposes, we're going to do it this way. I'm trying to show you how to do it and see what we can get going. So I'm going to go over here and get my board and my Sharpie I got right here in my pocket, and we're going to start making this template. All right, I'll be right back. All right. And the first thing I'm doing, I'm just going to get one. I'm just going to cut this to get me, a general size, so I ain't trying to wrestle this thing around. All this is you can use cardboard if you got no box. This right here is just some stuff. All I have laying around is just poster board. We're just going to start making a template. So first thing I'm going to do is get the length here. Just kind of stick it up here. You want to try to match this corner up, match this line up. You can kind of look down here on where your bottom is going to be. And to be honest with you, when you do it this way, I mean, it's fun. I mean, I just think it's fun. You're creating this, you're building it back, you're fabricating it. Now this is where my mark's going to be before I start to come around this little corner, because I got a little corner there. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a little bit. I'm just going to make that a little long, because I could probably come in here and butt weld. This. But let me see if I can extend this video a little bit, so you guys can get a closer look at it here. I can probably come in here and butt weld it right here, but just to make it a little stronger so I can get a good solid weld. Of course, you got 2 or 3 pieces here. You got like a inner corner piece right here that's folded around, and then this pinch weld, this flap from the quarter panel comes in right here and pinch welds to it, and then this back comes over and pinch welds to the bottom of it. So you got like a little corner piece in there. So you'll have plenty of metal in here to weld with. All right. So I got that. And let me go ahead and cut that. Now see, I gotta be careful because let's make it a little long. And it's a little trickier when you try to get around a corner right here, because if it's just flat, I mean, I probably could have came in here like this and come over here and just went straight down to this corner, made that flat, and then welded another little piece in here. But if I can get around here and I can cut that out, that's probably what I'll do. I mean, I'll weld it in solid like this, Now I'll take a dolly and a hammer, and I will just fold that around as I weld it. So I'll just fold it around as I weld it and see what happens. All right, so a little bend there. So about right there. And right there. Okay, and then we'll come down here. And a lot of times, the good thing about this particle board, look, you can press on it like that, and it'll leave your mark right there. In fact, it goes. Let's make sure I've got this right. I'll make it a little long. So when I cut it, then I can come back and whittle on it. Like that. Now, you can kind of start piecing in there. It's starting to take shape. Like so. Again, I can sit here and rub that with my finger, and it'll leave that mark on it right there. Up to that. And it's good for a lot of you young guys that's just starting to do this, man. It's really, it just teaches you. I mean, yeah, I mean, to buy all new stuff on there and to put it on there and do it like that, that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. This really helps you out on a lot of your fab skills. Now, see, that's pretty close. I don't think its top is going to turn out like I want, so I might have to change my approach on that. For some reason, I was thinking in my head, I mean, it's still, yeah, I don't think it's going to work out like I planned. And this is why you do it. This is learning, because see, I came straight across. Well, actually, this extends out, so I should have made this longer right here. This corner probably should have curved up, so when I wrapped it around, it would have had enough there. But right now, the way it is, if I roll it around, it's just going to, see, you're still going to have that big gap there, which I could probably weld that up solid, which I probably will. But this bottom will continue just to come straight like that. And another way you can adapt to this is like when you got your template like this and you have your visual of what you need. So this is pretty close where it needs to be. So even if this is a little long, I can tuck it back in behind this panel and weld that up solid instead of butt welding it. Give it extra structural strength. But anyway, what I was saying, if you got this here, and it's going to roll around like that, what I can do when I go to transfer this onto my sheet metal, I can just add this, which will be probably about 3/8 of an inch up here down to nothing where this mark is. I will just add that to my sheet metal when I put it on there, when I transfer this template to the sheet metal. So I'll just come straight up 1/8 of an inch on this corner and bring it down to this mark here where that's the mark where it starts to bend. And it'll go from 0 to 3/8 of an inch and it'll wrap around there perfectly. All right, so I'm gonna try that and I'll get right back with you. Let me get this transferred and cut the metal out and we'll go from there. All right, we're back. Now, I got this all made up. So I'm gonna clean it up real quick with my grinder. And safety first, let me go get my face shield. A little piece of advice. If you want something to ruin your weekend really fast, get a piece of metal in your eye. So, need my handy face shield. I can't wear safety glasses because I got to wear glasses to see with. So I'm sure I can get a prescription here, but clean up for metal. Now, we're just going to start tacking this in, and we're just going to form this corner around as I go. Should work out just fine. Turn your welder on. Welder's on. Get rid of safety shield. Get the welding head on. Well, you know, before I go that far, I really need to clean up right here where I'm going to weld. I'm probably not going to weld down along this right here. I might put a couple of spot welds in there. And the reason is because I'm going to replace this as well. Because as you can see, there's some here, but there's a plate back here, and this is where the rear bumper bolts to. There's a thick support plate back here. And so I'm just going to shave the, go just deep enough for the sheet metal and come down. Probably just about right in here, right in between the two bolts, just to get rid of that rust. And then when I get that off there, I can see how bad that plate's rusted and see if I need to replace that. But I'm just kind of piecing it in, doing a little bit at a time. I know it's extra work, extra welding. And, you know, you could have made this whole thing come across, but we'll just do it this way. All right. Let's get our piece and watch your eyes. Sometimes you may have to trim a little bit more, but and you may not. It just depends. Like this part right here is a little long. So let's see if we can. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to give it some extra strength. This is what I'm going to do. Let's start here at the top. Just get your little tack weld in there. You can kind of see where you're at. It'll be pretty good at the top, so what we're going to do, and see, the thing about metal is it's persuadable. You can bend it. I mean, and I'll show you what I mean. Like right here, I got a tack right here. I got a gap up here. So the top really kind of needs to go in like this. Like that. That's probably what I'll do. And then I can form this bottom. I can weld that down as I go. I might just even tuck it into the inside of that. Because it's, yeah, I could probably butt weld it, but I'm gonna go across the top first and then I can roll this around and then I can just work my way down. And try not to get too far ahead of yourself. Just give yourself a few tacks, because if you get it misaligned or something ain't looking right, you ain't got to cut a whole weld. You can just get through them 2 tacks real quick and then you're done with it. Got my handy dandy hammer. I don't know where my other hammer is. This is the one I was wanting. So once I go down here like so, let's go ahead and get this top. See that? See how that rolled all the way around? Now I can just put a bead of weld all the way down through here, grind that off. It can still go in a little bit more. I'll have to work it. Let's get a weld in right here. You're gonna have a lot of stink because there's seam sealer and body sealer and stuff back here from the factory. It'll just burn out. This dolly hammer I got, it's one little, works good. Get right down in these little spots. What I'm trying to do, let me get a screwdriver. I'm trying to tuck it in back behind this fender, just like this, but that lip on that fender is trying to bend with me, so I will just solve that problem here. Bring that back out. See, I want that piece that I fabbed to tuck in behind. Like so. So sometimes you just gotta work it, sway it. Do some dollying and hammering and it'll just fold right in there for you. Now we're going to have to do some work down here on the bottom. Let me move you down a little bit here. I'm gonna do a little work on the bottom because this lip right here rolls. So I'm gonna do the same thing as I did up here with my hammer. I'm just gonna start tapping on it right here and get that form. Which is going to be a little tricky because that metal's so weak. So what I might do is wait on this until I get this piece here, this whole part in this bottom. Because once I cut this out, once I get my metal break out, cut this out, I might make this piece, because this piece is going to come all the way out to the, let me get you situated. Because this piece right here is going to come all the way out to the outside edge of this quarter panel. I left that little lip in there just for a guide, so I'll know where to stop at on that. So I'll cut that out, and this bottom part of this rear panel will come all the way out and tuck in behind this quarter panel like this did. And then you can weld that all the way up solid. You'll have this part coming in there, tying that in, which it's already solid now, but even if, I mean, you can still see some wobbling around in there, like I said. Once you tie this in all the way across and weld it up, it's going to make all that corner solid. So I'm going to go ahead and weld this all the way up, weld that up, weld this down, leave the bottom, leave the side because I'm going to make this piece. And we're going to put some rust encapsulator on there and some weld through primer. And just kind of work our way over. Now this is a body part that's not going to be seen. If this was outside panel here somewhere, I would worry about it warping or doing something goofy, but this is all hid by the bumper. So we're just going to run a solid bead. We're not going to worry too much about the heat. I mean, I'm not going to stay continuous and warp the shit out of it. You know what I mean? That's why, see, it's starting to blow out. There's your, see, it's starting to blow out. You put too much heat to it, and so factory metal, it's going to start running. And then you're going to be chasing it all day long. It's what you call stitch welding. Just hit it, put a little bead in it, then you want to lap that bead with the other bead, lap that bead with the other bead, and where you got a solid weld all the way across. You're not hitting it with so much heat at one time, but yet at the same time you can still get you a couple, and that's good on here. But like I said, if you're doing a body panel, you want to stretch that out. You want to stitch weld it, maybe 2-3 stitches or just 2 stitches. Whatever you're comfortable with. A lot of people just go a stitch, every 3-4 inches, put a stitch and then just keep going. It takes a long time to weld it, but you're not going to warp the shit out of your panel. Now this down here, that's all fresh metal all the way across. It ain't factory, so I could probably get away with a little bit more. Just like that all the way up. I'm gonna finish welding this up, hit that top again. That's really all there is about to it. And then I'll get in here and clean some of this up. Put some more seam sealer in here because where this panel comes across, and you can see a little bit. You can see it up there. I don't want to get too close. It's still hot, like right in here. This. That little piece of metal in there is that inside support where the quarter panel comes around, this back panel comes around. So once all this is primered and rust encapsulated and all done, I'll go in there and spread some fresh seam sealer on it. Make it look all nice and good. But anyway, that's this corner. It's just a little idea how to make a template, how to get that stuff done. Yeah, let's change this. And like I said, we got the bottom to do. And see, I had that done in what's it been? Well, the video is 30 minutes. So I got that whole thing